story with you guys. As Chelsea said, I grew up living in England, and I went to a Catholic school there. I went to church every Sunday, but I still didn't know what it meant to be a Christian or live a Christian life. So, once we moved back to Connecticut, I'm from the East Coast, I still went to church every Sunday with my family, but I still wasn't sure what it meant to be a Christian. And then once I got to high school, things kind of started falling apart in my life. My dad lost his job, and then my family started becoming distant and separated. And I did anything to avoid church in high school. I thought it was really boring. I thought it was pointless. I remember telling my dad that I believed in God, but I didn't believe in the Bible, so clearly I had no idea what it was like to be a Christian. And so I got to college. I went to Stony Brook last year, and no one on my team had ever talked about being a Christian, and I didn't know of anyone else that was a Christian, so I didn't talk about it at all. And I remember going to church once last year by myself, and I kind of had a scary experience, which I could explain later, but basically I never went back, or I never even attempted to go back. So basically, my life last year was pretty hard. It was probably one of the hardest times of my life. I went through like an emotionally tough year. I struggled in school and struggled with my coach and some of my teammates. So basically last year I kind of felt pretty alone, and then at one point I decided I needed to transfer. So I was lucky enough to have a successful season. So when my coach contacted me here, she told me to come out for a visit last summer. And I had actually never considered Ohio State at first. I didn't even know where it was. I didn't know what a Buckeye was. I had to Google that. And I decided to visit kind of out of whim. I didn't really. I think my brothers told me that they had a pretty good basketball team, so I should go. So I just decided to come. But then once I did come, I just knew for some reason that this was where I needed to be. So once I decided to come here last summer, I still had like a lot of anxiety about like how I was going to afford school and where I was going to live being a transfer. And so after meeting all my teammates, a few of them had been coming to AA for a while, so I decided to join AAA and kind of see what it was all about. And I remember I thought it was so cool that there was a place where Christian athletes could go, get together, and talk about faith, because not many schools have this. So I thought it was really awesome. And after going to AA for a little while, I started meeting with Kinsey once a week just to talk about faith. And I just wanted to keep learning more for some reason, but I didn't really know why. So I remember actually the first thing that I learned ever, it might sound simple to some of you, but I learned that we needed Jesus to get to God. And in that little booklet that she gave me, it said in John 17:3, it says, "Now this is eternal life, that they may know you, the only true God, and Jesus Christ whom you have sent." And I remember after this first meeting with Kinsey, I had cried because I was so happy that I just knew that this is where I was supposed to be. And so as continuing on with my faith and getting stronger with my relationship with God, I have kind of been struggling over the past few months with the concept of playing for an audience of one. And I had thought that if I tried so hard at lacrosse, if I could, do as well as I could personally and balance all of my current worries myself, that would be playing for God, but I still never really was sure if I was doing the right things. So, and I had only really figured out how to play for God recently. It hasn't been a while or anything. So, for me, I know that I need to put all of my worries and all of my anxiety on God, and so I can allow Him to show me where I need to be and show me what to do. And I've been focusing on trying to encourage others more than just focusing on myself. And I've had this confidence in talking about my faith with even my family, who I probably would have never discussed with them before, and my friends too. And it's kind of amazing to me that now, since becoming a Christian, I just want to share my faith with others, and I want to talk about it, and I want to learn more. But a year ago, or less than a year ago, I didn't even know what it meant to be a Christian or live a Christian life, even though I thought I believed in God. So And actually now I get excited to go to church. I go to Veritas with Monica and Jen. And I'm actually already planning on going to a retreat this summer, the North Bay training camp in Canada. And even though, well, at first when I was asked to share my testimony, I was pretty hesitant because I felt like my story wasn't really finished and that I hadn't really lived enough as a Christian to share my story. But I remember driving in the car with Monica to church, I think a couple weeks ago, and I was talking to her about it, and she brought up a really good question. She's like, will your testimony ever be finished? So I thought that was pretty powerful because God will continue to write your story every single day of your life and just continue to add to your story. So I knew that no matter if I did it now or if I did it in a year or so, I'll always have something to share with other people. And even though nothing's perfect in my life right now, I know that God is in control and I can just put all my worries on Him rather than trying to take control myself. And this is evidence that we needed Jesus to die on the cross for us, which is what I first learned. So I wanted to share a verse that I always go back to, and I pretty much read it like every day. I just love it for some reason. And it's Philippians 4:4-7, and it says, "Rejoice in the Lord always. Again I will say, rejoice. Let your gentleness be known to all men. The Lord is at hand. Be anxious for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving. Let your requests be made known to God, and the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds through Christ Jesus." Thank you.